That's okay. That's okay. That is okay. We can stop that screen share and stuff right there. And I forgot to turn the microphone on. How's everybody doing today? Happy Easter. Happy Easter. Happy Easter. Good Easter. What's up, Cody? Jessica?
Happy Easter, everybody.
Aaron, Nicole. How is everybody doing tonight? We are doing wonderful. We had a great day. Went on a good walk. Oh, yeah, look at us. We are froze. It's okay, though. I'm going to close that out and trying to preserve some bandwidth here on Recovering Addict. Everybody in the whole world right now is online due to the coronavirus. And Coronavirus!
Whoa.
What?
Shows you LTC right there?
Oh, nice. I love it. I do. Big time. Looks good. Well, welcome to Recovering Addict. If this is the first time you've joined us, what to expect is all about recovery. We're going to talk about past experiences because the past is our best teacher. We're going to talk about current experiences, current struggles, and how to get through stress in times like what we're going through right now. And we're going to learn and educate on recovery. We're going through this book right here, Staying Sober. Tonight's going to be a good night. We're going to start into chapter 8, and it's talking about the family involvement in the relapse syndrome. And I like what Dale, did you guys like Dale yesterday? Who was blessed by that, man? That was amazing. Hey, DJ Fielder in the house. Welcome. Murd, what's going on? Green-Eyed Cat, welcome all the way from Australia. Polly Pinch. I was in a Zoom meeting with Polly Pinch earlier today. That was really awesome.
My Sharona. Link.
What did Mark say? Get off the internet, normal people. We need the recovery bandwidth. Absolutely. I'm right there with Burke on that one. We need it, not you. Unless you're learning recovery, get off the internet, please.
You need to put exclamation mark.
Yes, it is full of lessons, isn't it, James? Hey, James, did you see the beginning of the show? I was rocking the bass, and of course, I was playing Tool. That song is called The Pot, and it has nothing to do with weed. It's about the pot called the Cuddle Blood. But it's Sunday. I'm tired. I decided to start exercising today, and I was like, you know what? The Zoom meeting's 40 minutes long. This 3-mile walk is about 40 minutes long, uphill mostly. So I'm going to do that. And I did that, and it was nice. It was really, really nice. Alicia, how's it going? Welcome, everybody. So, yeah, we'll get into that here in a little bit. I want to talk about the coronavirus real quick and then talk about somebody that we know well. Let me pull it back up real quick. We're going to say a little prayer right here on Sunday. It's Easter. It's appropriate, right?
Yeah.
Totally appropriate. So coronavirus is in the United States, 559,409 confirmed, and we have 22,000 deaths. Here in Utah, we got 2,300 confirmed, and now it's jumped up to 18 deaths, which was only 13 a couple days ago. And the worldwide, we're over 1,800,000. And we have gone over we're just about to hit 115,000 deaths worldwide. But on that note, you guys remember Holly, the one that was with us, who dumped out her whiskey, and she's doing what we do, battling alcohol. But she's a nurse, and she said that she was called into work to drive 3 hours away to work on in a COVID unit. So please pray for me, she said. She says she's going to where there are 65 positive and 20 of the staff are positive, and they need nurses badly. So she's going out there on the front lines, literally, where there's 65 positive cases in this COVID unit, and 20 of the staff that are helping the 65 are positive as well. So we'll pray for her real quick.
Sure.
God in heaven, please be with Holly. Guide her heart, guide her hands. Please let her be an asymptomatic. Let her give relief and with compassion and love that you would have her give to the people that need it. And please provide healing and show your strength and power. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
So it made me nervous when I read that. I was kind of made my heart drop when she said she had to go and get called out to a thing like that. But that's what she signed up for, and I'm sure she's good at it, and I'm sure she's going to handle it well, and she's going to take all the precautions and be safe. And so if you guys know her and you guys have been reaching out to her, now's a good time. Say a little prayer for her, shoot her a message of encouragement, let her know that we're all with her and that we're all thinking about her. You know, what we do is like what James was talking about on his channel, community. Just like or who was that? Tyler Perry.
Oh,
Community.
hello.
Hello.
Hallelujah.
That is hilarious. So yeah, that hit me. I'm going to talk slow tonight because it's Sunday and I'm tired. And I'm trying to not have the Sunday blues because tomorrow we got to get up at 4 o'clock. I got to be at my desk at 4:30 to log in. Do you know what I mean? There's some good news, though. There's a former drug addict, ex-member of the Aryan Brotherhood, who's given hope to youth on Easter Sunday. And this is out in Myrtle Beach. It says Easter Sunday is a time of hope and change for many people around the world. One Myrtle Beach man is using his life story to bring hope to many during the pandemic. Tim Carter says he was on his deathbed, and he said he made a deal with God that changed his life forever. He laid on the hospital table, dying, and cried out, "God, if you let me live, I will serve you." Life comes at you fast, and Carter knows this firsthand. He says he comes from a Christian family, and he took a different route. He grew up in foster care and social services. He said he's made some drastic turns, though, and the turns one may not notice at first glance. Carter said he's an ex-member of the Aryan Brotherhood, a motorcycle club, and on top of that, he said he battled a drug addiction. In 2017, he laid in a hospital bed dying. "All my life has been about fighting drugs and power," he said. Carter said that he came to Myrtle Beach and turned his life around. Now he's a pastor and runs Sunshine Recovery Ministries. He said he wants to share the message of hope. And this is the one reason I wanted to read this article, because of this little quote right here. It says, to have change, you must have change in your heart. And that's true. It comes down to that. It's who you are on the inside that needs to change on the outside. Somebody who, I can't remember who it was. I was talking to somebody. Said drugs and alcohol are not the problem. I'm the problem, and drugs and alcohol, I tried to make the solution. He joined forces Sunday morning with community members to give back at the Seacoast Youth Academy and the facility for risk youth. He spent the afternoon with pizza boxes, a hand smile on his face for the youth in the facility. To see people being blessed, I am blessed more than they are. And I feel that right there. Just serving the Lord Jesus today, he said. And if your higher power is God and Jesus, today's your day. It's Resurrection Sunday. From what I've been learning, it looks like that Jesus claimed to be God and that he came down as a man and took the punishment for sins and debt that we owe that we can't pay. And that's kind of what he did on Friday with the crucifixion. And then this Sunday marks the resurrection. And it says that if you believe in him, that your sins will be forgiven and have everlasting life. So if that is the higher power you chose, Sunday is your day. So yeah, good for that guy. Good for Sunday. Good for blessings. Did anybody, because we usually, I know most people do, their families get together. I know Felice's mom, she's probably going nuts out there. She usually loves having big family get-togethers on Easter and holidays like this where the kids get to hunt the eggs. And she usually gets the plastic eggs with the candy in it and stuff. And then she'll put $5, $10 or whatever and hide them. And the kids go out and try to get the money and the candy. But not today. We did it the old-fashioned way. We boiled eggs, colored them the old-fashioned way, just dipping them in the thing. And that was it. Over here by ourselves, just me and Felice and the kids. And
I ate way too many. My stomach kind of hurts.
Felice overate.
They're so good. I put Cholula in my deviled eggs. That was real good.
Oh, Cholula's good on a hard-boiled egg.
Yeah,
for sure.
I got deviled egg poisoning.
Oh, it was Polly that said that to me. Yeah, that was me and Paul. Me and Polly talk a lot on the phone. I'm not going to say the word over the internet, but me and Polly have a little word for that. But yeah, we were talking on the phone, and that's true, man. Drugs and alcohol aren't the problem. We're the problem. We tried to make those the solution. It's pretty crazy. You only have 5 positive at the hospital, and I work at seems backwards. Yeah. Yeah, Utah's not too affected, really, with this whole thing right now. And I noticed we haven't really been hemmed up as the other cities. I don't know if it's because we're not quite as densely populated or what it is. Paul is the problem. Drugs and alcohol is the solution. Tell me my sponsor said that to you. Oh, awesome. Very cool. Uh-oh, Aaron overate too. It's a Easter. In America, we do things big and overabundance. If we can overeat on Thanksgiving or any holiday, we're going to do it. And us alcoholics use those excuses to overdrink, even though I didn't need an excuse to drink. But I would have normally on this Easter Sunday, right now at 8 o'clock my time, I would have been seeing double, searching for another bottle of whiskey to keep drinking, and I would have definitely missed work tomorrow. There's no doubt about it. I'm relating to that. I was a gang member at one time, and it's so true. We wanted power and drugs were the main point of our existence. That old lie I told myself was no longer power, it's just powerlessness. Isn't it that a stressful life too? Waking up every day fighting for something you can never fully grasp? That's got to be just exhausting. Yeah, we do talk. We did Easter yesterday at my house since I had to work. Oh, that's right. You're on. I was on Zoom with that guy today, looking good in his outfit. That's for sure. But it was definitely not the same. Not being a ground. Yeah, we feel the same way. It was a little different. Slept forever today too. I slept way late. I got up early for a minute, putted around the house, and then went and laid back down until after 11. Even got the electricity going on after the comment. By that I mean you find real eggs. Can't hear.
Oh, it was slim pickings at the store, Betsy. It was slim pickings.
Yeah.
They were mostly brown. It was hard to find white ones so we could dye them.
Yeah, there's only probably 28 cartons in the whole egg rack thingy. What, babe?
What was asking Mom to get me a scoop of cake?
Get you a scoop of cake.
A scuba cake.
I said scoop.
I would have hit the liquor store, supermarket, and cracked open a cold. Oh, yeah. I would have doubled up yesterday. And then I would have been at my father-in-law's house where he would have been feeding me alcohol. Or I would have been taking his alcohol and trying to drink all his stash for sure.
I did notice today, too, that you were more willing to jump in and participate in the egg dyeing.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas normally you wouldn't have been.
That's true. Oh, look, Zylan's
It was nice.
Hi,
Hi, Zylan. Love you.
Love you, buddy. So right there, that boy, Zylan Weaver, is my second son. I got Amos, Zylan, and Linky. And Zylan is in between the two. He's out in Washington right now. He'll be back in June. And you guys will see him right here on the show, hanging out. He's going to help me. He's got the artistic photography eye. He knows what's up when it comes to technology. So he's going to be a part of the recovering team.
Technology.
So what's up, buddy? Miss you. Love you.
Love you, Zylan.
My chair has officially sunk to its lowest level.
Felice is sitting in a quitter.
Wait, let me see.
I got my lowrider. It matches my hoops. It has bling and hydraulics.
All right, April 12th, AA thought of the day. This sober world is a pleasant place for an alcoholic to live in. Once you've gotten out of your alcoholic fog, you find that the world looks good. You find real friends in AA. You get a job. You feel good in the morning. You eat a good breakfast and you do a good day's work at home or outside. And your family loves you and welcomes you because you're sober. Here's the question. Am I convinced that this sober world is a pleasant place for an alcoholic to live? Are you convinced? Our need is God's opportunity. This is the meditation. Our need is God's opportunity. First, we must recognize our need. Often this means helplessness before some weakness or sickness and an admission of our need for help. Next comes faith in the power of God's Spirit available to us to meet that need. Before any need can be met, our faith must find expression. And that expression of faith is all God needs to manifest his power in our lives. Faith is the key that unlocks the storehouse of God's resources. And the prayer of the day. I pray that I may first admit my needs. I pray that then I may have faith that God will meet those needs in the way which is best for me. You guys got the faith you need? Are you convinced that the sober world is a pleasant place for an alcoholic? You know something that Dell said yesterday? When you're first getting into sobriety, you still don't love yourself enough to not go back to using drugs, and that you should rely heavily on your whys as to like, I'm quitting for my family or my children, or that stuck out. A lot of stuff he said stuck out with me yesterday. Anything in particular stick out to you from what Dell's little speech yesterday was? Hey, Brian, nice to meet you. Happy Easter. Got to come home today from rehab. Awesome, bro. So how long were you in that place? Yeah, they are nice chairs, James. Happy Easter, y'all. Got to come home from rehab. So are you just visiting? Are you what's going on? Let us know. Sobriety is a bonus, but a plus. True that. The setup is amazing. Thanks, bud. Awesome, Brian. Now the real work. Yeah. That's no kidding. Once you come home, that's that whole nature abhors a vacuum thing I told you about. It's easy while you're in rehab because it's a cushion. You're sitting there and you're getting recovery and counseling pounded into your head all day long. And then you come home and you're stuck to just leaning on the tools you learn. So make sure you got your tool bag fully loaded and you're continuing to learn and putting those tools into practice. Because as soon as you stop practicing, you soon forget. You start forgetting, and that's when you start slipping back. How many days was you in there? Holly, welcome. Congrats. I remember coming home from rehab.
Welcome,
I remember
Holly.
that feeling the rest of my yeah, me too. What'd I say?
I just said welcome, Holly.
Oh. Happy Easter, Krista.
Happy Easter, Krista.
Good to see you. I love that picture of you and your kid. It's cute.
That's way cute.
Congratulations. Keep on rolling. 45 days. Been 51 sober. Congratulations. I'm actually making 3 different videos right now for a 30, a 60, and a 90 day. So that anybody that pops up into the chat, if they're new and they're like, I'm 30 days, 60 days, 90 days clean, I'll have a button to press and we'll be able to applaud them for their commitment to recovery for 30, 60, 90 days. We had a group consciousness and opened up to another meeting. It was approved, and we now have one more extra meeting at 5 p.m. every Sunday. So if you're ever in Virginia and you need an NA meeting, then go. Oh, man, if I'm out there ever, which probably will be unlikely, but I'd love to go. Love to meet some new people. Don't pick up, and as James would say, don't drink, go to meetings. Or in this case, go to Zoom meetings and come to our channels and any other type of recovery you can consume. Shauna, hey, thanks for your email today. That was really positive. Appreciated that. I was ready to leave rehab. At first, I hated being there because my addict was telling me I didn't need to be there. Then I loved being there. And then I felt like, okay, it's time for me to go. Time for me to get home and put this stuff to work. And that's exactly what I did. 2 years, 10 months clean today. Yes, that's a long time, man. Give us
Good
some
job.
quotes. How'd you do that? Give us a couple of strong things, Jessica, that you've leaned on to stay clean for 2 years and 10 months. You know, another thing that stuck out to me, and it stuck out to me before, but he reminded me of it yesterday, Dale, when he says, when you're in a family situation and you are the addict, a lot of times your family hits rock bottom before you do. And how selfish we are to think, I haven't hit bottom yet. And without thinking, well, has your family hit bottom yet? You know,
Most likely.
something to think about. Don't forget to pray for Holly today. She's out there on the front lines fighting the COVID. Jessica Van Grinsven, thanks for following Recovering Addict. Appreciate that. Hey, admin that approved our recovery from alcoholism. I forgot his name. Appreciate that. Thank you for letting us start a watch party there. We want to spread the new message. We want to spread, not the new message, but we want to spread sobriety. We want to be there to support anybody that can help. And we appreciate you for letting us have that watch party. We really appreciate that a lot. We love being here. We are on the page Recovery from Addiction and Alcoholism. It's a private group. It's much like James and I's recovery group where there's solid people. It's got a lot of members in it. Recovery from Addiction and Alcoholism. I'll put that in the links real quick so you guys can go follow these peeps. If you're looking there's never enough, in my opinion. There's never enough recovery stuff that you can click on, read, and that's another page that I would highly suggest. Recovery from Addiction and Alcoholism. Got a lot of good stuff. And you'll know you're at the right page because there's like a blue background and like a moon. It looks like there's an eclipse going on and then like a sun. It's pretty cool. Hey, did you guys, I remember when I asked post something that makes you happy on the Facebook page. Did you all see what I did with that? If you haven't, go back to the Facebook group. I made a collage out of it and I turned it into the cover photo. So every once in a while I'll throw out there, post pictures, and if y'all put them in there, I'll gather them up. And there was some 28, 30 some odd pictures that I put into Photoshop and made a little collage. And now that's the family. Boom. Because I want this community is us. It's our community, you, us, everybody in the chat, everybody behind the numbers that pop up right here that I'm looking at, how many people are watching.
I'm just like a weird head in the corner.
Yeah, it
It's
is weird.
Creepy.
Not far away. I'm in West Virginia. West Virginia. I got a good friend that's from West Virginia, and he'd always flip me off and say, West Virginia, because it looks like the middle finger. Remember Tim?
Yeah.
Tim Messer?
Miss you, Tim.
I'm full of gratitude today. I feel a little better than the other day when my mother. Oh, yeah, man. I know I have a lot of work to do, but just for today, I have 3 days today, and I'm turning over my will every day. That's the only way to do it. It's a daily surrender. And you wake up and you surrender, and then you find yourself starting to backslide, and you have to pause and stop, evaluate, and surrender, and then press on. And sometimes it's hard to shake. Sometimes you just can't get out of the funk. You can't get out of your own fog. And sometimes when you have those thoughts that cause anxiety and it drips that whatever chemical that I think it feels like adrenaline to me, get your heart racing. You start feeling panicky and short of breath, and you try to not focus on that thought again, because if you don't focus on that thought and you give your body 3 to 5 minutes, that chemical will wear off. But if you keep feeding that thought, that chemical will continue to drip and drip and drip, and it'll last longer and longer, and sometimes get more intense and more intense. So that's where the battle lies, is right in the heart. And that's what that one article says. You have to have heart change if you're going to have change. Know what I mean? Krista says, I missed my kids, but was scared of real life. Yeah.
Real life's scary, even for sober people.
Yeah, real life. That's true. Real life's scary for sober people. But sober people don't get to learn the cool tools we learned, Krista, huh? We get to learn the tools to get us through times like what we're dealing with now. It's stressful. Everybody's stressing, but imagine the people who don't understand addiction and they're going to the doctor and asking for these crazy pills to get put on, and then how many people are going to churn out, or the doctor's going to turn out to be addicts after this that don't know they're addicts? Hang in there, bud. Stay strong, Jeffrey. Amen. We only think of ourselves. That's so true. Bunch of selfish people. Did I just see Cayman?
Mm-hmm.
Where was I? Oh, there he is. What's up, Cayman? Glad you're here. Cayman's in the comments, guys, if you want to say hi.
We love you, Cayman. And Jim. We love you also, Jim. I seen you pop in.
Oh, yeah, Jim. Love you. There's nothing so bad that a drink won't make worse. That's so true. It makes nothing better. It seems like fun at first. James, he threw out there, I'd learned from him, the 3 stages of it. And the first stage you go through with drinking is it's a good time. You're partying, you're having fun, and the stories you get to tell. Oh, I was so drunk. Oh, this one time I was drunk. And, those stories that start taking over your life. This one time I was drunk start to turn into stage 2, where you become a reclusive, shunning the world away from you and people. And you're starting to burn bridges, and you're wrecking relationships. You're ruining your job, and your health is starting to decline. And then stage 3 is when it finally starts to kill you and moves you to the hospital, and you turn yellow. And Tracy, hello everyone from Ohio. Happy Easter. Welcome.
Ohio.
Welcome.
High in the middle. Oh.
I'm glad you're here. Thank you. If you ever just joined us for the first time, let me give you guys a little rundown of what this channel offers. We are here every night at 8 o'clock on the dot, Mountain Standard Time. We're on for about an hour to an hour and a half, depends on the weekend or if it's work day. But we talk about recovery. We help and support each other through recovery. We learn and educate about recovery to learn new tools to press on and stay sober in the future. We learned through this book that we're on that recovery is like walking up a down escalator, and as soon as you stop, that's when relapse happens. And if you hit the bottom, that's when you start drinking and using drugs. So we figured out that relapse happens way before you grab a drug or a drink. And we're trying to pinpoint that. And through our Facebook page, you can go through there and read 37 warning signs and that we're going to live and bounce in and out of these warning signs. And it's how to conquer these warning signs when they happen and recognize them sooner and sooner in your progress through life so that you can put a stop to them and continue upward on that escalator through recovery and not have to go back, because we don't have to relapse. We don't have to drink. We don't. And we get to learn how to handle our emotions and come through crises or even experience extreme joy. Was it James that was saying? It might have been in the Zoom meeting, but triggers are like going to hotels. That was a huge trigger for me. Going to a hotel was like, yeah, I needed at least 2/5 of whatever tequila I think I was drinking at the time when we were hotel hopping a lot. Anytime we go somewhere, a baseball game, anything that was an event outside of our normal barbecues or anything like that, but it was an extra event outside of the state or a trip or anything. Oh, it was party time no matter what. And there was something about that just made you think it was funner, that, like you were having more fun.
Yeah, I think those will be my triggers. Because those were like one place where I couldn't escape you.
Oh,
we were
yeah.
stuck in a room together. I was like, here we go.
No escaping me on the road. I hid the keys from her. You ain't leaving me in Colorado.
Locked me in there. Like, bye.
We got in a pretty big fight. Where were we? Were we on a baseball trip?
We got in lots of fights on baseball trips.
No, this was a big one.
Yeah.
I'm surprised the cops weren't called. We were.
Oh, with the pee hot tub?
Where I almost got in a fight with that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Almost fought this dude. He called me a bunter. I'm not very tall. That doesn't mean I can't swing a bat.
You're the Babe Ruth.
They called me a bunter, and I had to. Luckily, some of the other the baseball dads got me out of there because I was overly intoxicated as usual. And then the testosterone and the adrenaline went straight into the hotel room where I picked the rest of the fight with her and pretty much ruined the trip. And woke up the next day like, huh? What happened?
Yeah.
We did what?
Luckily, you went out and sat in the car for a while and talked to your friend. Like, she calmed you down.
Oh, yeah. Oh, good thing for her at that time.
Yeah.
Don't go to jail. She probably said, don't get the cops called.
Probably.
I still read just for today, every day, and page 417 of the big book. Ooh, let's read page 47. Poige.
Poige.
Which
With your poige.
one is Polly?
Page 417. I love that one. I actually have that circled. I think, what's his name? Troy Flickinger turned us on to that. What?
Turn into Polly?
Poorly. I need some water because I'm bored.
On this page. I don't think that's it. That's how he says page. Poige.
No, that's like a redneck. All right. So it says, an acceptance is the answer to all my problems today. When I am disturbed, it is because I find some person, place, thing, or situation, some fact of my life unacceptable to me. Let's break that down. When you're disturbed, what disturbs you? When you're sitting in traffic, when your boss tells you to go do something you don't want to do, when you're at the store and they don't have what you want, they're out of eggs or milk or toilet paper.
OCD.
OCD, maybe, yeah. Things, the house isn't clean when you get home, your laundry's not done, something's spilt, the furnace is broken. You don't get what you get, right? So things that disturb you. It is because I find some person, place, or thing or situation, some fact of my life unacceptable to me. And I can find no serenity until I accept that person, place, thing, or situation as being exactly the way it is supposed to be at that moment. So we walk in and it's like, well, this is the way it is at that moment. And we actually went to Nashville to this cool conference. It's about singing, and it's a religious Christian place. And what?
He wants to talk to you.
Tell him to come in here. We're live right now on TV. Shut the door. And shut the door. Or shut the dog up.
Hey, man, sorry I got home so late.
Oh, that's good.
His cousin's house.
My oldest son. We're live right now if you want to come and say hi to everybody.
Oh, okay.
All right, so where was I? Oh yeah, and this pastor popped out of those curtains, and we're like, "Oh, you popped out at the wrong time," and he was like, "No, man, you actually
Sit down.
popped out at the exact right time." So things happen for a reason. So this is Amos's dad, Adrian. He's in recovery too. What's up?
Look at these twins. Hold on, watch. Boom.
Everybody give it up for Amos and his dad. You got a whole grip. So how long you got sober? How long you got clean?
I just got my 5 months.
5 months, y'all. 5 months.
Oh yeah, how are you doing? Did you have a good Easter? Good.
So he went over to his dad's house and got to spend some Easter time and Easter weekend and love. And
It was awesome. Thank you
Yeah.
for letting me have
Anytime.
them, guys. I appreciate that.
I got to play basketball
nice.
with my dad all up and down the court.
It did not happen. I just want that to be said.
Set the record straight.
Right?
Hugs and kisses, y'all.
Absolutely.
Bing, bing. Yeah, so we just go through here. We go live every night at 8:00 on here. So we're live on Facebook and YouTube right now. There's 37 people watching, 40. So we go live and then we talk about
The big book.
recovery.
The Bible, the second Bible.
The second Bible.
Yeah.
We're going through this book, Staying Sober. We read out of the Daily Reflections. This is the next book we're going through. We're going to go through the
Oh, the
steps
Joe
we
McHugh.
took.
I read that up at camp.
Oh, did you?
Yep. As a matter of fact, they're trying to transition from Big Book to the Joe McHugh book because the Joe McHugh book puts it more like in nowadays terms. Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
You know,
So that's what we'll be going through next.
that's awesome.
Yeah. So we tune in because the coronavirus, everybody's all in lockdown right now.
Yeah, right? Oh my goodness. It's getting so reckless with the corona.
It's ridiculous.
I can't even stand it.
Utah's not that bad, though.
No, they're not. And I guess a bunch of parts of California just came off lockdown.
Yeah, everybody's starting to come off lockdown now for sure. In Utah, we only got 2,303 cases.
Damn.
18 deaths now.
It's getting up there, though.
Yep.
That's crazy. All right, well, I don't keep that. Man. Thank you, my brother. It's so good to see you, man. What's the name of the channel?
Recovery and Addict.
Recovering Addict. All right, I'm about to subscribe. See you, sweetheart.
We'll
See you guys.
see ya.
See ya, brother.
Happy Easter, guys.
You
Happy
too.
Easter.
I didn't get a hug.
Way to go, Amos. Sober James says, way to go. Doing the damn thing.
See you guys later.
We'll see ya.
See ya.
Much respect. God bless.
Chad, what's up? Welcome to the show.
That's cool. We got him on the channel. That was awesome.
Jeffrey said congratulations on his 5 months. We'll pass that message along. We didn't get to click
Mark,
on that.
5 months. Keep it up, man.
Yeah. So the crazy thing is Amos, he's lived with me his whole life. And that's his real dad. They just got back into connection.
A month or two ago.
Yeah, he's been in and out of Amos's life since Amos was about 3 years old. Because I've had Amos since I cut his umbilical cord. And so his dad came in and out of his life over a few, just the addict life, the addict lifestyle that we all live. And the last 5 months, he came around. He's doing the programs. He's fighting the battle, and now he's around all the time. Amos gets to go visit him all the time. But the thing is I look at Amos now, and I led by example of the last 5 years of what a drunken addict alcoholic was. So he's had to live through that. And then his dad, now he's got the gene of the alcoholic or the addict inside him. So I've been really pressing into Amos's head, recovery and AA stuff and, jails, institutions, death. I've drug Amos, and now he goes to AA and NA with his dad. He comes to AA and NA with us. And so we're trying to thwart that before,
Before he has to learn
he's
the hard
15
way.
years old. And, if it's 17, 18, 19, 20, you know what happens around that time. Right, son?
I'm here to talk about it.
Talking about you, bud.
Talk about how you stink.
Yeah, go take a shower.
Look at this. He let me borrow his pants. Look at this one. That's why I'm here, and I wasn't going to go to the Easter.
Jeffrey said your dad better subscribe.
Look at that.
Dang.
Fit in your dad's pants.
Awesome. Thanks, Chad. I'm glad you got to come or get to tune in. I want to talk to you. I'll have to shoot you a text after this and see if you ever want to come on here and tell your story. More than welcome. You know you are, brother. Dad's in recovery, just making me want to hug a dude. We'll hug for you right here. Me and
Ah, father-son hugs.
Dad's in recovery. It's crazy. I think that's kind of a good segue into our chapter 8. Chad's down whenever. Sweet. Happy Easter, Zanette.
Zanette. Love you, Zanette.
So much love. Welcome back, Zanette. I'm glad you're here. How was your Easter? How's everybody's Easter?
Zanette's got a birthday coming up.
Zanette's. Oh, yeah. So we almost missed Aaron's birthday. Hadn't Aaron not reminded us. But Felice instantly went and took everybody's birthdays, put them on a spreadsheet to give us a reminder. And when your guys' birthday comes up, we'll always have something special here for you now that we won't miss it. So make sure when you're on your 30, 60, 90 or year mark that you tune in that day, because we're definitely going to have special things for you.
Yeah. If I don't have your birthday, give me your birthday so I can write it down.
Yeah.
Because I probably have missed some along the way.
Oh, I'm sure. Who's this face? Ali Kosar. I stay in Anchor. Good days on Corona. Awesome. Good for you. Where are you from? And that's awesome to see. It was good to see a co-parenting going on. It's about dude. It is about the kids, and that's when it's not co-parenting going on with love. It's ego. It's exactly what we were just reading. We should probably finish reading that after 4:17. Oh, I want it my way, and my way, and the other person's going, no, it's my way, and the kid's sitting there like, huh, and just totally affected by it. They can't be like that, no.
Sounds like Shandy.
Yep.
Oh, Holly checked in a while ago.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
What'd she
Glad you
say?
checked in, Holly. She said she's sober. She'll let us know how it goes.
She's sober, and you guys keep praying for Holly. She'll be back. She'll be back. I'll hug everyone in recovery, because if it wasn't for hugs, I would never keep coming back. Yeah, I'm a toucher. I'm a toucher too. And yes, James, I'm allowed next to schools. My backyard's the school.
Hey, hugs, no drugs.
Hugs and no drugs.
Hugs, not drugs.
Yes, literally, maybe preventing future drug use. So when if you guys have us on your prayer list, make sure you include Amos and my horrible example, and then his pre-genetic disposition to be an addict, that we can kick him off that course and on to positivity. He says he wants to join the Marines and be a Marine. I want him to go with the Navy. I said either Air Force or Navy, because they're going to teach you how to do something. They're going to teach you a trade, become an electrician, sheet metal guy, avionics, all the stuff. Aaron, how you doing? Garbage candy or worse? What are your opinions?
Peeps are disgusting. That's my opinion.
If there ain't enough, if there's like no candy bars laying around and there's a peep on the table, I'm going to eat it.
I won't eat it. I might lick it and then be like, whoops, still gross.
Nah, I'll eat it. Merc's out of here.
Oh, bye, Merc.
Oh, if Merc's.
Have a good night.
Oh,
Bye, Mark.
maybe not. Good night, Holly. Oh,
Who's going to
everybody's
bed?
Who's going to bed?
Good night, whoever's going to
Yeah,
bed.
good night, y'all. Whoever's going to bed, have sweet dreams.
About peeps, not because they're gross.
Yeah, guys, murder that like button. Smash it if that's something you're into. Don't forget, if you guys want to help us, make sure you're subscribed and you hit that like button, just like Master Sober James said. And
Did you say hit that like button?
not hit it like this. Like this. Yeah.
Link knows all the trigger words.
Link is
You know
on
too
triggers.
much about trigger words there, bud.
Yeah. Yes, Merc, I will see you. So tomorrow's Zoom meeting, I plan on this. This is my plan with that Zoom meeting, because it's 3:00 my time when it kicks off. So I'll probably be a couple minutes late, but my plan is to go on a walk every time we Zoom. I'm going to Zoom up that hill again. And I kept myself muted so you wouldn't hear how out of breath I was. I was choking that first 20 minutes because it's all up, steep uphill.
We need to buy some oxygen tanks.
On the way down, it wasn't too bad. But then it got really windy, and then you could hear the wind, and I didn't want to, But it was fun out there throwing the ball to Megan. They're creepy, huh?
Circus peanuts are gross.
Take it from an Army guy of 13 years, bud. Go Air Force or Navy. I'm glad you made that decision. I keep telling him the same thing, man. Air Force or Navy. And I think I would like the Navy, but then we had a friend that joined the Navy so she could see the world and ended up stationed in Idaho.
Yeah, she's like in the desert. She's like, this isn't the Navy.
I remember what you said about the circus people. Creepy, huh? Tanya, no worries. I'm glad you're here. All right, so we got to jump into this book. At my job, maybe I'll talk about it in a Zoom meeting tomorrow, but I help you Navy people out. I helped you Navy people out a lot.
Oh, Holly, you're still on.
Where is she?
She'll pop up right
There she is. My son's in the Navy and is in Italy. Oh, cool.
Oh, see, that's seeing the world. That's better than desert in Idaho.
What's he working on? Well, I think I know what's going on there in Italy. That's way cool. Coronavirus. All right, so family involvement in the relapse syndrome. In many cases, the addict is the first family member to seek treatment. So this gets deep, guys. So if you have family that's involved in your addiction, maybe they want to pay attention to this part, or maybe you want to pay attention enough to be able to read, relay that message onto them. Thank you. Thank you very much. My ego loves that word. Awesome. Dang it.
That's what Linky's for. He holds up
my head. That's actually a picture of my skull right there. Let's change that.
It's the actual size.
Let's go to the coffee shop and calm this place down.
Oh, I like the.
Look at my picture.
I don't like the windows. I
not
like the windows.
The hallway.
This one?
Yeah, I like the hallway.
Let's go to Graffiti Alley. I made a video in here. The very first video I made of my story was in this little alley right here. Some of it, anyway. All right, so in many cases, the addict is the first family member to seek treatment. Other family members become involved in order to help the alcoholic get sober. And many family members refuse to consider the fact that they have a problem that requires specialized treatment. I had a problem. I went to treatment. We focused on me getting sober. We focused on me getting better. But they don't realize that they had a problem too, is what this is saying. These family members tend to deny their role in the addicted family and scapegoat personal and family problems upon the addicted person. They develop unrealistic expectations of how family life will improve with abstinence. So they figure, oh, once you're done drinking, everything will be good. If you would just quit using drugs, nothing of this would be going on. When the expectations are not met, they blame the addict for the failure, even though he or she may be successfully following a recovery program. Their attitudes and behaviors can become such complicating factors in the addict's recovery that they can contribute to relapse. At the end of the day, relapse is our fault, but there is a contributing factor with unrealistic expectations pressured on an addict in recovery. If the family of the addict isn't seeing their role in the addiction. Does that make sense? Make sense?
I think so. Definitely the unrealistic expectations.
Yeah.
Night, Holly.
Everybody pray for Holly. You were in our prayers. Make sure you check in with us and I'll let everybody know what's up. Or you're on the Facebook. Let us know there too. Michael Peter. All right, so family members can be powerful allies in preventing relapse in the addict. Relapse prevention planning utilizes the family's motivation to get the addict sober. As family members become involved in relapse prevention planning, a strong focus is placed upon co-addiction and its role in the family's relapse. Oh, family relapse. That's cool. Family members are helped to recognize their own co-addiction and become actively involved in their own treatment. Addiction is presented as a family disease that affects all family members, requiring them to get treatment. The addict needs treatment for addiction. Other family members need treatment for co-addiction. The term co-addiction is sometimes used as a... okay, let me reread that, sorry. The term co-addiction is sometimes used to refer only to the spouse of an addict, and other terms are used to refer to other family members. We are using the term co-addict to refer to anyone whose life has become unmanageable as a result of living in a committed relationship with an addicted person. Co-addiction is a definable syndrome that is chronic and follows a predictable progression. So it's predictable, which means they've seen it over and over and over again in multiple different families. So this is something that's real. Co-addiction in family members who are affected by an addict. Once the addict becomes an addict and starts down this path of horrible decisions, horrible habits, and you know everything that an addict causes inside a family unit, that causes the family unit to react in a way that becomes a habitual problem in the way that they relate and act towards the addict that just perpetuates and then becomes this family thing. And that's why when an addict quits, like me, it takes family recovery. We went to family group therapy every week, and then we went to AA and NA together. So it's we have to recover as a family, because why? We recover better together. And it's something that everybody needs. If they're in a family situation and one person's an addict and that person quits, the whole family needs to focus on that recovery. Co-addiction is a definable syndrome, and it follows a predictable progression. When people are in a committed relationship with an addicted person, attempt to control drinking, drug use, or addictive behavior over which they are powerless, they lose control over their own behavior, over which they can have power, and their lives become unmanageable. So the addict is powerless over alcohol or drugs, especially when they start using, right? Their lives become unmanageable. The codependent, the co-addict, tries to control the addict's life, which is they're powerless to control, and then their lives become unmanageable. You see the thread there?
Mm-hmm. That's very easy to get lost into. But I don't know. I feel like I seen it in myself, getting addicted to your addiction. That's when I started to go to counseling and finally was like, because I didn't like where my life was spiraling out of control with yours. But there's probably a lot of people that don't even realize that their life has become unmanageable as far as the non-addict. They just think they're doing the right thing or trying to help. It's just making things worse.
Her family doesn't drink or use, but it makes her want to drink and use. I can see that. My mom is supportive, but also a big stressor. With all her expectations for my recovery, it's caused me to relapse twice. It's my fault, but it sucks. Yeah, but my counselor always told us that people cannot make us feel anything. That's true. I cannot make her feel an emotion. I can influence, but if she's on top of her game in her head, I cannot make it. And my influence will not have as much effect. But if I don't want to say you're weak-minded, but if you're not on top of your recovery, you don't have the way that you deal with situations when stress comes at you, when somebody looks at you wrong, when somebody says something you don't like, or what we just read in 417 of that book, when things aren't like you want them to be. How do you handle that situation? And once you learn that, then you're going to less likely be triggered to use, because you're going to understand the emotions behind you. And it's changing your mindset. It's like when people, and I always default to road rage because it's so everybody deals with it. When somebody honks at you from behind, your knee-jerk reaction, and that's what we're talking about, is that knee-jerk reaction. Your knee-jerk reaction is to flip them off and tell them to F off, because we're selfish and we're self-important, and that's what you drew today. And we come first no matter what. What if that person behind us was literally in an emergency? Like they had a dying kid in the car, or their wife, or, and they're honking, get out of the way. Do we ever think about that? Beep, beep. Oh, man, maybe they have an emergency. Let me get out of the way instead of, oh, screw you, pal. I have this part of the road. It's mine. That knee-jerk reaction is the thing that through this channel we are honing in on. That's where we are drawing our target, and that's where we are shooting at. We're trying to find that knee-jerk reaction and how to correct that instant in our life, because it's those instances that cause us to start to stumble and fall down the hill.
I'm going to go off topic for a second, but still on topic. about the whole move out of the way. If there are some of you out there that do not move out of the way, I know firsthand what it's like to have a kid dying in the hospital and people not move out of your way so you can get there. That is the most frustrating thing I think I've ever experienced in my life. Because I was at work when the accident happened. I don't think I ever told you guys my side. But I was at work when it happened. And so I'm like honking at people to get out of the way so I can make it to the hospital. And there are a lot of people that think they just own the road. But yeah. So keep that in mind.
It was even like that for the ambulance driver.
Yeah.
Because I was in the ambulance with him. So we drove from my house to about a 20-minute ride to the hospital, normal drive. It took us about 10 minutes to get there in an ambulance. But even the ambulance guy was like, get out of the way. And he's like, it's not an emergency unless it's your emergency, you know. Even getting out of their way was frustrating. And then from that hospital, we jumped on a helicopter, and that's when we flew to Salt Lake. Me and old Linky here. Craziest flight. I've flown in a lot of helicopters. I've flown in a lot of airplanes, but that was the most intense one. Pretty trippy. Ultimately, it's our responsibility to recover whatever triggers. Yeah, that's true. And that's what we're here to learn. Right here, we're going to learn, Mr. Green-Eyed Cat or Mrs. Green-Eyed Cat, whatever you are. Alicia, I have family like that too. Yeah, me too. My dad makes me want to drink. That's very interesting. My fiance may need to hear that. Yeah, Angela. This book's called Staying Sober. So after this book, we're going to get into the 12 steps that I took, which basically breaks down the 12 steps into a very modern English. We'll probably hustle through this one. We've been kind of dragging our feet through this one, but let's hustle through this next book. And then I will be on the search for a family-oriented recovery book so that we can draw, like you said, Angela, family in and make this an environment for us to learn together, because that's what she's here for. She's not been she's been affected by addiction her whole life, parents and brothers and cousins, just like a lot of us, but she's never been an addict or an alcoholic herself, and then married one. And so
Kelly asked if we'd swing back around to page 417.
Oh, absolutely. Sorry, Kelly.
I just got highly distracted. Kelly,
I didn't know what to do for a minute because he didn't know we were live. I don't even think he knows we go live, and he's trying to talk to us, and then I'm trying to I was lost there for a second, so that's what happened there. I really didn't know what to do. I was like, breaking down 417. That's what we was doing. So acceptance is the answer to all my problems. Acceptance is the answer to all your problems. What does it mean to accept? When you accept something. I just got hit in the face. And you just accept it. I accept it. When I am disturbed, it's because I find some person, place, thing, or situation, some fact of my life unacceptable to me. And I can find no serenity until I accept that person, place, thing, or situation as being exactly the way it is supposed to be at that moment. Understanding that it depends on, I guess, your belief of the sovereignty of God, for one. Is God completely in control of every nanosecond of every day, in any situation and breath you take was meant at that moment to be that moment exactly? Just what I just said was meant to be that exactly. Every stumble, every mistake, every positive, every negative is it supposed to be, you know what I mean? And it's accepting it on that term. When you walk outside and it's raining, it was supposed to be that way. And to get mad about it is only harming yourself. And that was where the story was when that guy popped out of the curtain, and he's kind of a famous person, and he popped out right as Felice and I were walking by, and we're like, hey, it's you, what's going on? And I think Felice said, oh, you popped out at the wrong time. And he's like, nope, I popped out at the exact right moment, or something to that effect, that he made that moment seem like it was destined to happen. And it was,
which it was.
And it was really cool. So I accept that person, place, or thing, or situation as being exactly the way it is supposed to be at that moment. Nothing, absolutely nothing happens in God's world by mistake. Until I could accept my alcoholism, I could not stay sober. Unless I accept life completely on life's terms, I cannot be happy. I need to concentrate not so much on what needs to be changed in the world as what needs to be changed in me and in my attitudes. So that last sentence, I cannot be happy. So it says, I need to concentrate not so much on what needs to be changed in the world. You look around you and go, well, that needs to be changed. No, that needs to be changed. No, that needs to be changed. Instead of stopping and realizing that you need to focus on what needs to be changed in me and what needs to be changed in my attitudes. How's that? That's page 417 in the Alcoholics Anonymous book. Write it down. I circled it. Bent the corner, circled it. Will you shut that off?
Or turn it towards me because my feet are frozen. He's going to kill me. Oh, see that?
That's foul.
That's the things you
That's
can't
a foul.
control.
But you
Anger
could have control.
is a character defect.
Destructive anger. And you're seeing how well I'm handling it right now. Will you spin it that way a little bit?
Yeah, hold on.
Fleece just destroyed the whole studio with one swell swoop of her foot.
The heater's on the thing. Let's put it way over here.
Bye, Zanette. It's Mr. Green-Eyed Cat to me. Zanette said, my sponsor told me the same thing LT is talking about because I was upset all the time, and she said I needed to get spiritually fit within myself. Amen. I'm way behind on these comments.
Right here. Right here.
You gotta this way and twist it that way.
This way.
Yeah, right there. Zanette, the book teaches us not to blame those who are more spiritually sick than we are. An important lesson. True that. Aaron Yost, you are never 100% fixed. You have to work on yourselves daily. Yes, amen. Never fixed. Let me see. Where are we at here? Okay.
I don't know. I'm fat and I can't breathe.
Jeffrey is, I wish my family understood that, but I had to give up trying to make them understand. They just don't want to. And then there's that. See, so then now Aaron's battle there would be to understand that she's powerless over trying to make them understand and not get an ulcer from stress due to trying to control that in her family as much as she wants it, I'm sure. Because some people they're not going to accept it. They'll never buy into the addiction as a disease. You can call it a disease. You can call it whatever you want. But at the end of the day, it's obviously a problem for people. And some people, it's a literal problem that cannot be controlled without certain counseling and steps and all that kind of stuff. And to have outside people try to understand what you're going through, sometimes they're not going to. Murd's like, whoa.
You guys almost saw attempted murder, but I run faster.
Just about. I know it needs to be changed in me. The problem is figuring out how to change it. And that's what we're here for, Angela. If you haven't joined our Facebook group, it's a real positive where everybody in these comments go and we post and just, strengthen each other throughout the day. There's 37 warning signs on there, and that's kind of where we're starting to drive towards, is looking at these 37 warning signs and figuring out what the problem is, what that knee-jerk reaction is. And that's usually when you start seeing it, those knee-jerk reactions in your life, the way that you look at a way you handle a situation, if you get depressed, sad, upset, overly excited, and just kind of figure out what caused that knee-jerk reaction, and was it a correct reaction, and did you think about the situation in reality, or was it something, if you got super angry at somebody, was the situation a reality to be that angry or depressed, or start pinning down what goes on in your heart. I just got to rewatch. Oh, you know what? We forgot to do Cassie's quote of the day.
Oh,
let's do that really quick. Here's a little motivation from Cassie.
Hey guys, back again today with the motivational quote of the day here on Recovering Addicts. It seems impossible until it's done. Nelson Mandela. As always, spread that love.
Love you, Cassie.
And there's Cassie. I can't believe it's already 9:00. Time just flew by. I don't even feel like we got far enough into this book. I only got through a page and a half. It says, when you try to control what you are powerless over, you lose control over what you can manage.
The only thing we can manage is ourselves, and that's a hard lesson to learn.
Can you post your Facebook platform details, please?
Yes.
That's Felice's job.
That I
Anytime I
can
say
do.
Facebook, it's supposed to go just like instantly be there.
Well, you know what?
And she should have it like on cue on the thing.
I'm still trying to figure out how to use this computer.
What?
What is going on?
What?
I'm new to Apple. Bear with me.
Thank you, Mr. Green Eyes.
And thank you, Aaron. I will be eating strawberry cake after this.
Strawberry sick. Yes.
My mom made us a whole pan. It's delicious. Thank you, Mom.
Thank you so much, Shauna. That gives
Misha,
us-
you didn't hear that.
Misha's on? I'll text her and tell her. I'll just let her know.
What you wanted the Facebook group? You got it.
You want me to do it?
No, look, we're here.
Oh, look, there's Mark. Mark and Penny.
Hi, Mark.
I
Hi,
attempted
Penny.
to quit drinking because I wanted to fix the problems in my marriage and life. I made
Boom.
it 3 months because my problems didn't go away and I quit for the wrong reasons. Yeah, abstinence from alcohol and drugs is not the problem. Like Polly Pinch's sponsor, Tommy, told him, alcohol and drugs are not the problem. You're the problem. Alcohol and drugs is what you tried to make the solution, and that doesn't work. So then you get rid of alcohol and drugs, you still got the problem. I always like to say, and I heard it from my counselor, you got alcoholism, you get rid of the alcohol, and you're still left with the ism. So what is the ism? And that is where we are trying to pin down. And that's what those 37 warning signs are going to help you drive towards, your knee-jerk reactions and the way that you respond to situations and how to respond to these situations without overreacting to the point where you go back to the drugs and alcohol for a solution to that problem, which then just makes it worse and worse. And we end up here with a recovery channel because that's what we need.
That is very live tonight.
Who said that?
No, that's what I'm saying. We had surprise guest appearances.
Oh,
We
yeah.
had technical lighting difficulties. I can't breathe because I'm fat. I'm glad you got some strawberry cake too, Aaron, because it's delicious.
Dad almost had a character defect.
Dad,
No, I didn't, you guys. They got triggered because normally I would have freaked out about that.
his face went red.
I might have got a little upset thinking my light might have broke, but I didn't shut the show off and start screaming.
Throw a fit and like leave.
I still might.
Me and Aaron are starting our own group. Strawberry Cake Anonymous. That's going to be called Lack of Oxygen Anonymous because I still can't catch my breath.
That's what she just said.
I know, I saw it first.
Flace gets the comments on the laptop before I get them on the screen. So I got my computer plugged into one of our old TVs here. And that's kind of, so when we look at the comments, we're kind of looking at the camera. Alcohol and drugs were the only symptoms to my problem. My problem was my inability to face life on its own terms. Same. And we still go through it. When I finally got to a place where I realized I was on my own problem and I just wanted to be closer to God at any cost, I was able to stay clean. The only thing that can keep you afloat, sovereign life vest.
Oh, I'm going to shout out this book again.
It
Speaking
did?
of God. Yeah, oh yeah. Your face was the same color as my book. Attempted murder.
Well, the
guys.
more you watch the show, and because we come on every night at 8:00, you're going to get to know the real me. And some of you are going to like me and some of you are not. And I'm okay with that because I am powerless to control it.
I'll just be quiet until it goes away. This book, all you God lovers and privates out there, this book helped me a lot. Taught me how to control my feelings and my reactions to the actions of an addict, I suppose, if you want to put it that way.
I was thinking about Captain Anonymous the other day.
Oh, get into one of these microphones.
Oh, I got you.
His son's 12, like the 12 steps and the 12 traditions.
Really?
Yeah,
Has he always been 12?
I think so.
Interesting.
We got 20 viewers.
Is my face still red? I wonder.
We don't talk
It's
about it.
getting better. It's getting better.
My face is pale.
All right. Well,
Don't.
chapter 8
Rabbit nose.
is awesome. So now you
I'm-
can kind
I'm
of see
excited
where
to
we're
get into
headed
that
through
one.
this one. Chapter 8 outlines family involvement in the relapse syndrome. This book is this book is all about relapse and relapse planning and relapse prevention. The guy studied a whole bunch of people. He actually, when he went into school, they gave him in his psychiatry place, they gave him all the high potential relapsers. There was like, they had the groups in different places, and there was a group of the ones that were a higher potential of relapse, and he got those people. And so that's where was able to write this book. This is from education from back in the 70s all the way up till now. And so we're going to look at the family portion of it. We're going to go through early stages, the normal problem solving attempts to adjust. You got a middle stage of a habitual self-defeating responses, then the chronic stage where the family collapse and stress degeneration. And we'll read through that. And then we'll look for warning signs for co-addiction, because there's warning signs for us addicts and what we go through that can cause us to relapse. And there's also that for the family of the addict to go through. So we're going to learn a lot of good stuff here. Lots of good stuff. Tracy, thanks.
No problem,
Thanks
Tracy.
for thanksing us.
Ooh,
It's a really good book.
joke of the day.
What is the joke of the day, bud?
Ooh. Oh, Dad got you.
Eminem has been confirmed with coronavirus. The doctors say his palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. There's vomit on his sweater already, all because of Mum's spaghetti.
Did you memorize
That was good, bud.
I memorized it.
Wow. It's impressive.
The best part, my head was crushed.
Yeah. Yeah. So he's got brain damage because of the way his head was crushed right here. And his memory's slowly been coming back. And then all of a sudden he memorizes stuff like that. And he gets A's and B's in school. And he's doing really good in math. But then other times he forgets all
He
kinds of stuff.
Showed us something about 4 times in a row.
Yeah, it shows multiple things in a row. It's pretty cool. How do I deal with cravings? Let's get into the what are you craving? What's your drug of choice? And how long have you been clean? And we can deal with kind of what cravings you're dealing with. But for alcohol, for me, and the meth, so in my early 20s, I went through meth addiction, and I went to jail for up to a year about, and that's how I got off of meth. And it took that whole year, but the cravings, I just slept through the detox part of, when you're dope sick off of meth, and came out of it with a second-degree felony, almost went to prison for 15 years. And so I don't really remember going through that, but I do remember the alcohol cravings, and I still get them sometimes, but it's not really a physical craving anymore like it was at the beginning when I first quit. When I first quit and I was going to IOP, that craving of wanting to just chill and numb out. And then it's a huge sugar withdrawal from alcohol too. So I ate a lot of candy and a lot of milkshakes, and that seemed to help subside the physical cravings. And now I'm dealing more with the trigger cravings. Like today, it was kind of a day I felt like drinking just because normally this is a day that I would have partied on, but they didn't last long. I've been using the tools that we've learned. So that's the way that I dealt with the physical cravings, by seeing what my body was detoxing from and kind of just giving it a little bit of something else instead, and weaning myself off of that as I go, like sugar. I'm going to start exercising more. You kind of have to go through this adjusting period. But for the first month or two, if you're recovering from alcohol, go get a milkshake. If you're struggling, just go grab a milkshake and drink it, because it helps a ton. I had a bag of, well, I still do, a bag of M&Ms next to my bed at night, and I would eat handfuls of those things. And now I don't crave the sugar like I did. Yeah, no.
Yeah, he said
Heroin.
Yeah, heroin.
And I'm only a couple days now. Woo. Now that's a tough one, because you're withdrawn from something that gives you the flu. And the best thing I would say to do, I only know this from the group I was in and the other heroin addicts that were coming off heroin. Some of them went through the maintenance of Suboxone. They went and got a doctor prescribed and a counselor, and a doctor helped them wean through Suboxone to ease those types of cravings. But then another friend of mine, Diana, she quit cold turkey and said that was the best thing, and glad that she did it that way. She was in her mom's basement with a bucket and stayed down there until she got over the flu-like symptoms, and then went to an IOP for the rest of the symptoms. Because you only have, I don't know how long does a heroin withdrawal last? Is there anybody in the comments that could answer that question better than I can? I was never a heroin person. I liked meth, weed, and alcohol. And then I would party with all the other drugs if they were around, except heroin, because I hated opiates. I hated being slowed down. I hated my nose tickling. It just wasn't fun. I like to be up causing trouble. Anything that kept me moving fast and causing trouble, that was my thing. Marilyn, have a good night.
Good night, Marilyn.
Dad.
See you tomorrow. We will be here tomorrow at 8:00. Today was a huge trigger for me. I cried through it. Yeah. And we only got a couple hours left, or maybe an hour left until it's bedtime. And that's the only thing we have to worry about, is that one more hour. And we go to bed and we wake up tomorrow, and now we have another battle under our belt in our toolbox, the tools that we used. If you got to cry to get through it, cry to get through it.
I'm a big advocate of crying. They say criers have less stress than non-criers.
I believe it.
It releases something in your something.
Good for you
Good
for
article.
battling it today. And if we were in this lockdown and we actually had to go to the in-laws today and do the Easter egg stuff, it would have been even a bigger trigger. I'm not sure how long we would have stayed, but they've been really respectful.
Yeah.
When they invite us over now, it's LT's over, no alcohol, until they tell everybody no alcohol. Last time he was here, he broke the sink, and
We probably should fix it.
Jim already did.
Oh,
You
well,
know,
it's good.
You know how Jim is.
Well, yeah.
with
We
the
love
drugs
him.
of choice, I thought of something.
What?
Meth, alcohol, and weed. Now.
Mow. I used to mow it. Oh, no.
It's like Pac-Man.
Yeah. Oh, wait. I didn't read Polly's thing. I just keep thinking about the negative things that come with it all. More problems that come with it, and remind myself that it's not worth it. There's another way right there. What Polly said, he uglifies it. So you got to look at what, it's called playing the tape through. What are the consequences if you go back to using, say you go back to using heroin tonight? What are the next 2 days going to look like? The sickness and stuff that you're feeling and going through right now, you're closer to ending that. But if you start again tonight, now you've prolonged it. It's always easier to stay sober than get sober. And then once you get through that, uglify the drug. When you think about it, don't think about the good times and the good feelings, even though it seems like that's all we can remember. Think about all the trouble it caused, all the health issues it causes, and really start to uglify what it is we used to do. Thank you so much. That is very encouraging. I was supposed to leave 10 minutes ago. I just can't. So are we. We have to get up at 4:00 tomorrow, but if there's stuff to talk about, we should just keep talking about it, because we're only guaranteed this moment right here in life. And if we're living by page 417 of the big book, then we should continue to do it. High stress is a trigger for me. How are you handling this COVID thing there, Michael? Because I know people have been pretty stressed out about that. And how do you battle that stress when it comes about? The mental craving, then you pass the physical part. I used to opiates, just go to subs, or so if you have to use a maintenance, do it. But no, like Merck would say, it's a crutch, not a wheelchair. I think it's like W. Good night, Brent. Thanks for watching.
Night,
and if
Brent.
you're going to be out on the water fishing, I wish you the biggest nets full of crabs and all that stuff you get.
Lucky.
I'm speaking blessings on you.
Or lay hands on his boat.
A week, I should feel physically better. Yes, get through it. Hey, keep coming back every night. If you want to start checking in with us, we have a thing we'll set up with you to help hold you accountable, and we'll be here. I'll shoot you our information, get and closer to contact with me on Facebook, and we'll start having it to where you can come and pop on, tell us your struggles, and we'll help talk you through them, or just come in the comments and say, I'm here. This is what I'm feeling. This is what I'm going through. And all of us will jump on that and attack it. We'll talk to you. We'll read the comments from other people to you. Make sure you're in that Facebook page and express exactly how you're feeling in there. right here,
Oh,
what
Facebook
I
page.
always
I got this.
what I always go to here,
Facebook page.
and this is what I
Posted
mean.
it.
When you jump on that Facebook page and you're struggling through these next few days, this next week or so, verbalize exactly what you're going through to people like us, because we're not going to accuse, we're not going to criticize, and we're not going to minimize. And then you need to express as much as you can about what you're thinking and feeling, even if it seems irrational or unfounded. Talk about what you're experiencing. It's going to help you look at the situation more realistically, and it's going to help you bring these internal symptoms to your conscious awareness. And then it'll also give us members inside that Facebook group somebody to be able to serve and give our wisdom and our experiences to, because there's people on the Facebook page that's going to be able to give you much more better wisdom about what you're going through with opiates than I will, for sure. Look up Zoom meetings. Yeah, go to Zoom meetings. Those are cool. I'm digging them the more often I'm in them. How does that stuff work? Is it shots or oral meds? I don't know. I can Google it real quick. I don't know. I never, thank God, never used opiates. It seems like such a horrible drug to come off of. And on top of craving the high, you get so sick it's like the flu. That's crazy.
Angela says it's oral meds and it helps block the cravings and urges.
Oh, naltrexone. I did try that. That's that pill I took for alcohol. Remember?
Yeah. That's the one that made you feel weird.
Okay, so I tried naltrexone, and me personally, I hated it. So I guess what it does is we have receptor cells in our brain, right? And receptor, it's for seeing, hearing, thinking, craving, wanting that dopamine drip. It blocks those so that when you would normally crave that dopamine drip from your chemicals in your brain, it just plugs that so that you don't crave or don't want that. It'll help you get through, and I guess it helps a lot of people. I personally
Probably get
like
used to it maybe if you take it more than once. But that stuff was weird.
Okay, I'm following you on Facebook. My name's Stephanie Ambrosino. Nice to meet you, Stephanie. Awesome. We'll be looking forward to it. And then you can reach out and private message us on there, and we'll give you our email address. And the closer you get, the closer you get. It's up to you. It helps blocks craving. And okay, yeah, it worked good for you. It worked. I took it one day and I felt like a zombie, and I was like, nope. And then I went right back to drinking when I stopped taking it. Well, that's cool. It worked for her. Everybody's body's different, and you know. You're welcome, Tracy.
Shout out to New Zealand. Hi, George.
It blocks out alcohol, and the opiates help. Oh, okay, cool. Oral meds. Who?
He's on the Facebook party.
Oh, cool. Is that how Suboxone works too? I know it helps with cravings, but I don't know. All right. So this is April 12th out of Just for Today. The big picture. All spiritual awakenings have some things in common. Common elements include an end to loneliness and a sense of direction in our lives. That's the basic text on page 50. Some kinds of spiritual experiences take place when we confront something larger than we are. We suspect that forces beyond our understanding are operating. We see a fleeting glimpse of the big picture and find humility in that moment. Our journey through the 12 steps will bring about a spiritual experience of the same nature, only more profound and lasting. We undergo a continual process of ego deflation. That's true. While at the same time, we become more conscious of a larger perspective. Our view of the world expands to the point where we no longer possess any exaggerated sense of our own importance. That's true too. Everybody, if you don't have this app, it's the NA Key Tag app. Just download it, and on there you can have the Just for Today, or if you have the Just for Today, I highly suggest rereading this April 12th one. This is a good one. It says, through our new awareness, we no longer feel isolated from the rest of the human race. We may not understand why the world is the way it is or why people sometimes treat other people so savagely, but we do understand suffering, and in recovery, we can do our best to alleviate it. When our individual contribution is combined with others, we become an essential part of the grand design. We are connected at last. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. So just for today, I am but one person in the entire scheme of things. I humbly accept my place in the big picture. I'm gonna reread that again tonight before we go to bed. That's a good one to end the night on there. Wow. So reread that if you can. The only bad thing is I've been on it for 4 months and afraid of what will happen if I stop. Are you doing a weaning thing, or should you wean? So yeah, I wish I had the advice to offer for that stuff. Maybe I need to educate myself.
This is from George. He's been on subs a couple months now. It takes away physical craving. He says it's an opioid.
Yeah, it's in the opiate family. The Suboxone is, but Angela's on naltrexone.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know. I know that when you smoke cigarettes, I don't know if this is the same thing, but when you smoke cigarettes and the instant relief of stress or whatever is that nicotine is blocking your receptor cells. And so since your body's having its receptor cells blocked, it creates new receptor cells. So when you quit smoking and you take away the cigarettes and nicotine and all that stuff, all of a sudden you have more receptor cells, and that's why you feel more irritable, loud, So I'm not sure. I would call a physician or a doctor, because this show is not, we're not doctors. We're not psychiatrists, psychologists.
You can probably tell by our facial expressions.
I'm just a dude that experienced life and addiction for the last 40 years, basically. Well, since I was 13 up till now, and learned a ton in recovery, love books, love to educate myself. And I'm sharing my experience, strength, and hope with you guys, and trying to build a community, which is building beautifully. If you guys are on our Facebook page, I built that collage today and put it as the cover photo, because we are a group of, we become family once you recover with people and you start sharing the way you feel, and other people's come in and help because of their experiences and they know, and this tight-knit bond happens. Just like me and Polly Pinch, man. Me and Polly, that dude is becoming brother to me. I'm not even kidding. I love his phone calls. Half the time I'm sleeping when he calls, but we were in a Zoom meeting together today. It's just encouraging. I'm loving it. It's hard to taper, but you can do it when you're ready. We're all here for support. See, that's what I'm talking. Erin is becoming one of the, or I'm starting to see, I guess I should say, not becoming, but she's solid, and she reaches out and helps people behind the scenes, and just the strength. You can tell Erin is there and you can rely on her, and it's awesome. Suboxone's a bad withdrawal. I honestly never withdrew from Suboxone. I wouldn't know. I already read that one. How do I get it? I'd say call a doctor.
No, she wants to know how to get the Just for Today app.
Oh, just go to the app store. I don't know what kind of phone you have, but any app place you have, and it looks like it's got all the key tags like this, kind of in a circle. It's like black, yellow, orange, red, green, gray. And it says key tag for NA. And there's also one that's called chip for AA. And it's got like a triangle. But either one of them's good. And it keeps your sobriety birth date. So when you get it, it looks like that. You can see it has how many days I've been clean. And then it gives you the key tag that you're on. And then it gives you right here, if you push this button, the Just for Today, what we just read. It's pretty cool. I like it. The more I read Daily Reflections and Just for Today's, I'm starting to kind of like the Just for Today's a little better. They're both good, but yep, slowly and carefully. Absolutely, don't do it at once. Yeah, same here, brother. Alrighty then. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
Amen.
All righty, you guys. Thank you for everything you've done. Thank you for the people who have subscribed and liked our channel. Thank you for joining our Facebook group. Thank you for giving us the support and encouragement that we get from you and keeping us going. We're here every night, 8 o'clock, and we don't plan on quitting for at least a year. And we'll reevaluate then. But until then, until tomorrow at 8 o'clock, make sure you stay strong, you work your program, and remember, we recover better together.